Welcome back to the channel. Our Pittsburgh Steelers are pushing forward, striving for perfection and getting closer to securing their spot among the NFL's elite as the playoffs approach. This weekend, the stakes are high with a tough matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a lot to talk about today. George Pickens' recovery timeline, how the offense adjusts without him, and the return of Montravius Adams to bolster the defense. Before we jump in, hit that like button to support the channel and make sure you're subscribed for all the latest Steelers updates. Let's dive into it. Let's start with the big news. George Pickens, our star wide receiver, is officially out for a second straight week due to a grade 2 hamstring injury. This is a tough loss, especially as the Steelers prepare to face the Eagles in what some are calling a potential Super Bowl preview. Pickens' injury first came to light just days before the Steelers' matchup with the Cleveland Browns in Week 14. Since then, there's been speculation about the severity of his condition. Some even wondered if the decision to sideline him was disciplinary. But head coach Mike Tomlin made it clear after last week's victory that this is no minor issue. "We're not going to let a small problem become a big problem," Tomlin said, emphasizing that Pickens' health is the top priority. The timeline for Pickens' return remains uncertain, though reports suggest he could be back as soon as Week 16 against the Baltimore Ravens. With the division title and playoff seeding on the line, the team knows they'll need him at full strength. Without Pickens, the Steelers' offense has taken a noticeable dip. Last week against Cleveland, the team managed just 267 yards of total offense, their lowest output since the home loss to Dallas. One of the biggest challenges has been the lack of a consistent deep threat. Pickens' ability to stretch the field forces defenses to stay honest, opening up opportunities for the running game and intermediate routes. Without him, defenses are stacking the box and daring the Steelers to beat them through the air. So far, that's been easier said than done. Wide receivers Calvin Austin III and Van Jefferson have stepped up, but neither has the same game-changing presence as Pickens. Rookie Roman Wilson has been sidelined for most of the season, and while Mike Williams was brought in via trade, the chemistry between him and quarterback Justin Fields is still developing. This underscores a broader issue: the Steelers' lack of depth at wide receiver. After trading Deontay Johnson in the offseason, the team gambled on Pickens staying healthy. Now, with him sidelined, those concerns have become a harsh reality. While the focus is on the Eagles this week, everyone knows the real test comes in Week 16 against the Ravens. The Steelers are in a strong position with a win over Baltimore earlier this season, but securing the AFC North title will likely hinge on that rematch. Tomlin's decision to play it safe with Pickens makes perfect sense in this context. The team needs him healthy for that divisional showdown and the postseason beyond. On the defensive side of the ball, there's some good news. Montravius Adams, the Steelers' nose tackle, has been activated from injured reserve and will suit up against the Eagles. Adams has been out since October with a meniscus injury, but he returned to practice in November and was a full participant this week. With Larry Ogunjobi ruled out due to a groin injury, Adams's return couldn't come at a better time. Tomlin and the coaching staff are likely to use Adams in a flexible role, either at nose tackle or defensive end. This could allow the Steelers to shift Keanu Benton to end, giving the defensive line more versatility against Philadelphia's powerful offense. The defensive front will need to be at its best to contain the Eagles' dynamic rushing attack and keep quarterback Jalen Hurts in check. 1. Contain the run game. The Eagles thrive on their ground attack, led by Hurts and their talented backfield. The Steelers' defense must control the line of scrimmage and force Philadelphia into third and long situations. 2. Step up in the passing game. Without Pickens, Fields will need to rely on short and intermediate routes to move the chains. Look for tight ends, Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington, to play a bigger role this week. 3. Special teams impact. In a game that could come down to the wire, a big play on special teams, whether a blocked kick or a long return, could be the difference. This game is about more than just Week 15. It's about making a statement. The Steelers are battling for the #1 seed in the AFC and a first-round bye, while also keeping their rivals, the Ravens, at bay in the division race. A win against the Eagles would send a message to the rest of the league. The Steelers are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Sunday's matchup is shaping up to be one of the biggest games of the year. The Steelers, currently sitting in third place in the AFC with a solid lead in the AFC North, are looking to make a statement. Meanwhile, the Eagles are battling for the top seed in the NFC with just 2 losses on their record. This game isn't just about securing a playoff spot, it's about testing our mettle against one of the best teams in the league. The Eagles, with their powerhouse roster, are strong contenders to represent the NFC in Super Bowl LIX. A win against them would solidify the Steelers as a force to be reckoned with. When it comes to big-time players making big-time plays, look no further than T.J. Watt. The Steelers' superstar edge rusher has been a nightmare for offenses all season long, and Sunday could be a breakout game for him. Why? For the first time in 2024, Watt is expected to face significantly fewer double teams. Steelers defensive coordinator Terrell Austin has noted that the Eagles' offensive game plan might not allocate as much help to block Watt, giving him more one-on-one opportunities against tackles. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Watt isn't lining up against just anyone. He'll be facing off against Lane Johnson, arguably the best right tackle in the NFL today and a future Hall of Famer. Johnson's accolades speak for themselves. 5-time All-Pro, an anchor of the Eagles' offensive line since 2013, and one of the most consistent players in the league. This matchup between Watt and Johnson is a game within the game. If Watt can win this battle consistently, it could be a game-changer. Getting pressure on Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts will be crucial to disrupting Philadelphia's rhythm and forcing mistakes. On the other side of the line, the Steelers have Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig taking on another formidable opponent, Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata. Mailata, a former rugby player turned NFL star, is one of the most athletic and dominant tackles in the game. Like Watt, Highsmith and Herbig are expected to face minimal help from tight ends or running backs, which means they'll need to bring their A-game. Generating consistent pressure from both edges will be key to containing Hurts and limiting the Eagles' explosive plays. While the focus is on the pass rush, the Steelers' secondary will also be under immense pressure. With less attention being paid to chipping Watt and Highsmith, the Eagles' offense could unleash a barrage of routes. This means Pittsburgh's defensive backs will need to step up their coverage against 2 elite receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Brown and Smith are among the best receiving duos in the league, capable of turning any play into a touchdown. If the Eagles opt not to keep additional blockers in, the Steelers' defense will need to adjust to quicker, more dynamic route patterns. The key here will be communication and discipline. Safeties. Minkah Fitzpatrick and Damontae Kazee must stay sharp, while cornerbacks Patrick Peterson and Joey Porter Jr. will need to lock down their matchups. Keys to victory for the Steelers. Dominate the trenches. The Watt-Johnson and Highsmith-Mailata matchups will determine whether the Steelers can disrupt Hurts and force turnovers. Winning at the line of scrimmage is non-negotiable. Control the clock. Offensively, the Steelers must maintain long drives to keep the Eagles' high-powered offense off the field. This means quarterback Justin Fields and the running game need to be efficient. Limit explosive plays. The Eagles thrive on big plays. Keeping Brown and Smith in check will be crucial to Pittsburgh's success. Capitalize on opportunities, whether it's forcing a fumble, picking off a pass, or making a big play on special teams. The Steelers need to take advantage of every opportunity. What's at stake? This game isn't just another regular season matchup. It's a litmus test for the Steelers' championship aspirations. A win would clinch a playoff berth, solidify Pittsburgh as true Super Bowl contenders, build confidence heading into the final stretch of the season. On the flip side, a loss could expose weaknesses and give the Ravens and other AFC rivals momentum heading into the playoffs. All right, now it's time to hear from you. How confident are you in the Steelers' offense without George Pickens? Do you think Montravius Adams will make a big impact on Sunday? And most importantly, what's your prediction for the game against the Eagles? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation going. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Steelers updates, analysis, and exclusive content. We'll be back after the game to break it all down. Here we go, Steelers. Let's keep the momentum rolling and finish the season strong.